Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of Jash Reads. And yeah, I I got an actual the intro in. Yay! Success. Low bar, but I passed it. And last week, last video I was talking about, maybe a new, plushie, kitty every week. But today's guest is an iced mocha because the frappuccino machine is still broken at McDonald's. It's been like that for a week or two. Like a week or two ago, I was like, I'm going to finally do it. I am finally going to drink a frappuccino, and yeah, still waiting. So today we are going to continue reading Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten by K.A. Applegate. Let's load wake up, dude. And today we're going to be reading chapter 17. So let's get started. 4:23 p.m. I don't think I ever realized how strong Hork-Bajir are till we followed them as they rampaged through the rainforest. They use their arm blades to slash at the vegetation, leaving a path of destruction in their wake. They slashed and never seemed to tire. There was a human controller with them, a guy who looked like he might be 19 or 20. He was in good shape, but he was gasping and sweating and struggling to keep up with the powerful, tireless Hork-Bajir. Far above them, we swung and flew and caught and swung again. Are these guys going somewhere or just wandering around? Rachel grumbled. Tick tock, we're running out of time. There, there, the human controller rasped weakly, pointing in the direction of the base of the tree we were in. That animal, that pig-like thing, I don't think it belongs here. I think the guy was just tired, looking for an excuse to sit down and rest. But without pausing even to consider, the lead Hork-Bajir drew his Dracon beam and fired. Zhur! The wild pig, or whatever it was, sizzled and disappeared. The Dracon beam kept traveling. It hit and sliced through the trunk of our tree. Move! I yelled as the tree began to shudder and sway. We leaped wildly for the next tree. I fired myself out into the air. The tree was falling too fast. No time to plan a landing. I threw through the air. This is the joys of doing it live. Let's like rewind, pretend that never happened. Okay, we good? We good. Sure. Oh, I rewound too. Ah, oh, I'm messing up record time. Yay! Move! I yelled as the tree began to shudder and sway. We leaped wildly for the next tree. I fired myself out into the air. The tree was falling too fast. No time to plan a landing. I flew through the air for a very long 2 seconds. I dropped. The ground came rushing up. I could see the face of the human controller staring up at me, wondering, France, I'm reached, missed. No, wait. Suddenly I was stopping, swinging in a crazy circle. I almost laughed when I realized what had happened. My tail had grabbed the branch my hand had missed. I don't like that monkey, the human controller said. The Hork-Bajir leader once again drew his Dracon beam and aimed for me. But I was out of there. I raced back along the branch, holding on with my toes, and I swung around the back of the trunk a split second ahead of. Shoo! Zip! The tree trunk exploded right in front of me as the Dracon beam turned its sap to steam. He scorched my face. I lost my hold and began to fall. Then a hand grabbed me. Hold on, Rachel said as she swung me toward a new branch. That does it. That's no real monkey, the human controller yelled. The monkeys! Kill all the monkeys! Kill every monkey you see! 5 Hork-Bajir drew their weapons. No! Cassie cried. Jake! We have to stop them! Cassie, get out of here! Go! I yelled. Shoo! 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 Dracon beams fired their killing light. Tree branches fell away like someone was trimming a rose bush, and one of the beams hit a monkey. Cassie! Marco, axe! I yelled. It wasn't one of us. Marco answered. Monkeys were destroyed. Birds in the trees were destroyed. A sloth and its baby hanging from a branch were destroyed. The Hork-Bajir were on a rampage. They were past just shooting at monkeys. They were shooting at everything that moved in the high branches. They're killing everything. Cassie cried, outraged. We have to stop them. This isn't time to play Save the Rainforest, Cassie, Marco snapped. This is time to play Save Your Own Butt. Jake! Tobias yelled down from above. I see Dracon beams being fired. Yeah, we kind of noticed, Rachel answered. We had swung away from most of the slaughter, but we were still near enough to hear the wild, huffing laughter of the Hork-Bajir and the kitty insane cries from the human controller. I know there's a difference between human life and the lives of other animals. I guess there is, and I definitely know there's a difference between human life and the lives of trees, but still, that mindless, pointless massacre of trees and the animals in them made me sick. The Hork-Bajir were just cutting everything down. Smoldering stumps stood where trees had been sliced up. The forest was screaming in anger and confusion. Woo, 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 woo. Then something strange happened. As the Hork-Bajir stomped onto the rainforest, something fell from a tree. It was very long and it wrapped itself around the lead Hork-Bajir. A snake! Rachel yelled. Man, I didn't know snakes came that big, Marco said. The snake swiftly coiled around the Hork-Bajir and squeezed. The other Hork-Bajir began to slash at it. Then, get back, fools, and be glad I don't kill you all, a sneering, thought-speak voice said. The Hork-Bajir stopped trying to free their trapped friend very suddenly. They stepped back and just watched the struggling Hork-Bajir. I knew that Spot speak. Okay, Spot speaks now a thing, I guess. Okay, let's rewind a little bit. Pretend that last spots. I never said spots speak. We good? We good. I knew that thought speak voice. We all did. Somehow the sound of it in your brain made you feel afraid. Once the Hork-Bajir stopped struggling, the snake began to change. From the impossibly long snake body, an Andalite grew. An, an Andalite body, at least, but not a true Andalite. Because in that Andalite head lived the Yerk slug who held the rank of Visher 3. It's strange how two almost identical things can be so totally different. See, Visher 3 looked almost exactly like Axe, or any other Andalite. And yet, there was never a moment of doubt when you saw him that this was an evil creature. The four remaining Hork-Bajir and the human controller were shaking with terror before the Visher. "What are you fools doing?" the Visher asked in deceptively calm tones. He looked at the human controller. Visher 3 is never very careful about his thought speak. Thought speak is like email. You can decide who it goes to, or you can just blast it out for all to hear. I guess if you're as powerful as Visher 3, you just shout away. The human controller turned several shades lighter than his natural color. We, uh, we, we, we were following your orders. Visher to destroy any animals that don't belong here because they could be the Andalite bandits. And you thought perhaps the trees were Andalites as well? No, it was, the Fisher raked his Andalite tail forward and pressed the blade against the man's throat. Did it occur to you that the bug fighter is less than 100 yards from here? Did it occur to you that Dracon beams travel a long way? Did it occur to you that we cannot get back to our own time without that bug fighter? And did it occur to you that I might be in morph and that you might end up shooting me? The human controller sank to his knees. I didn't, we never, it was them! He pointed a finger of blame at the Hork-Bajir. I whispered to Axe, "What's that about needing the bug fighter to get back to his own time?" Axe shrugged his monkey shoulders. "I don't know. I think maybe we need to exactly recreate the intersection of the true Dracon beams to undo the Sario rip. I remember something like that from school." He held up the little disc from the bug fighter's computer. "But they can't fly the bug fighter without this." It came to me then, in a flash of insight. I had made a terrible mistake. I had risked Axe's life to get the computer, to make it impossible for the Yerks to fly the bug fighter. But now we knew they'd have to fly the bug fighter to get us home. You could say we had a bargaining chip. You think maybe we could trade Fisher 3 the computer for a ride home. But I knew better. Once he had the computer, the Fisher would just kill us. We were trapped. Trapped because of my own mistake. And that's the end of that lovely chapter where Jake realizes again he done fucked up. Okay, let me make sure that's. And yeah, that's again, I might have mentioned this before in a previous part of this dramatic reading. It's been a long time. And I sometimes have a bad memory as is, but that's basically the whole book. Jake makes mistake after mistake, and it's sort of, and the book's whole thing is, going into the hardships of being a leader, about how easily you can make a mistake and how devastating those small mistakes can be, that you didn't know were mistakes to begin with. Like that, the chip, Jake thought that, oh, I'm making a good decision. This is going to work out for all of us. This is the best decision. But he finds out later it's a mistake. And when you're the leader, all that guilt of all the mistakes added up, that you that again, even though you didn't know were mistakes, will still eat you alive. And as I say, eat you alive, I remember this is the same book where Rachel was nearly was being eaten alive by ants. Yeah. I I will say it was actually fun getting back into Visher 3. I don't know. I like villains just because they can be so certain of themselves and so great to just get into a role where you're actually certain about something for a little bit of your day. Yeah. And uh, I think the Visher, like the first words line of dialogue he had in the chapter was a little different than later on. You know, the really horrible British accent I do. At least that's, I think, what I might be aiming for. But yeah, so here's my question for this video. Let's think. Oh, what did you think about the the Hork-Bajir controllers just shooting the trees, shooting any animals? Jake did make a statement about, I know there's a difference between animal, human, and tree life, but with all that with that whole gigantic massacre that was going on, it's just terrifying. What did you think about that statement? What do you think about the difference between human, animal, and tree life? No, do you consider there to be a big difference? Do you not? So please, comment down below with your answer. And of course, comment on anything else in this chapter that you notice, maybe about some things that I didn't touch on. And remember, no major spoilers. I am hoping against hope that, some people watch this video and get into Animorphs. They say they watch this video and they're like, oh my god, this actually seems really interesting. It's not just a nice goofy adventure where kids turn into animals. I mean, there's some goofiness to it, but there's also some, stuff that really impacts differently when you're an adult and when you're a kid, trust me. Like I was a kid, it impacted me one way, and adult, I'm like, holy shit. So yeah, so if you did watch this video and you're like, hey, I want my very own copy of Animorphs number 11, The Forgotten by K.A. Applegate, if you look at the links down below, you can find a link where you can buy this book. And buying from this book will, give the money to the people that actually wrote this, that, blood, sweat, and tears created this series. And also, as it's an Amazon Associates link, you can. I'll also be getting a very small percentage, and Amazon Associates, I believe, doesn't allow me to tell how much of a percentage I get, how much money I make off of it, but trust me, it's small. And that's not going to take away from, what the actual authors get when you buy something from an Amazon Associates link. Also, if you want to talk to me outside of these videos, like it doesn't have to be about Animorphs. I love Game of Thrones. There's a new series of Westworld coming out, a new season of The Boys coming out. Like I'm like, yes. I have Twitter, and the link to my Twitter is down below also, and I'm Jashikins on Twitter. Also, if you're like, hey, if you want to donate to me, which is for my blog, including this video, including some other stuff like books I release. I have a Patreon, and so please, I'm just and also down below here are the other links. I should have said, oh, these links are down below, so I don't have to keep going. Whatever. Well, yeah, I'm releasing an original series. It's Kafka's Men. It's all about Kafka. Have basically forcing yourself to have amnesia, and so there's Kafka who's trying to deal with life of basically being trapped as an experiment, going through her love life, seeing if she can escape or not. And it's a reverse harem series, so there is sex. It's slow burning, so it's not like she meets a guy and she instantly starts to bang him. There's much more of a plot. And no, I don't mind reverse harems where it's just, oh, meet men bang. Sometimes I sometimes I am in that mood. And it's also has body horror. Kafka can shapeshift, so there's some body horror. One chapter in the second book I put there just for the body horror. And also down below are my links to the latest design for my journal. For what my latest journal designs down below, also Redbubble. Also, I do some gigs on Fiverr, book promotion, tarot reading, and now I'll write a fic for you. Very small, like between 500 and 3,000 words. Maybe I'll make an exception for you, but I want to keep them small. Also, I am currently working on 2 Game of Thrones fanfics. Lanice and To Die for You If Need Be. And To Die for You If Need Be should be releasing a chapter tonight. Hopefully, I meant to release it last night, but I got so tired. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So, yeah, if you actually made it to the end of the video, if you actually made it to the end, thank you very much. I hope you're having an excellent day. I do not know when I'll be releasing my next episode, Jash Reads, but it will be soon in the future. And Saturday, I will be seeing the movie Men. I like the director, and it doesn't really matter to me that it's a social commentary on talk on bad men. So, but that seems interesting. But I love the director's past work, so that's what I'll be seeing. Hey, also, I guess since so few people will be reaching this point in the video, a secret question answer down below. Will you be seeing Men? And if you watch this movie, by Saturday or Sunday, and you've seen the movie, what did you think? And spoiler free comments, please. And until next video, goodbye.